Hello EVSC students, and welcome to your last week of virtual. That does not mean that we are fully done with the school year. It just means that you will not have assignments to complete with, so you don't get absent or counted absent for the days. The rest of the days are going to be a state waiver. So I hope that you guys have had fun with us on WNIN, and I hope that you guys have learned a little something virtually. We're so proud of you guys, and we hope that you guys had a little bit of fun with us as well. My name is Haggard, and I am a 6th grade teacher teaching ELA. So we are going to go ahead and get started with a little brain break, okay? Everyone's favorite, would you rather? Okay, so let's see what our first one is. Would you rather have a piece of pie or a piece of cake? So if you are wanting a piece of pie, I want you to stand up. If you want a piece of cake, I want you to sit down. Okay? I would personally want a piece of pie, but that's just me, because I think I have cake all the time for all holidays. It would be nice to switch things up. So, all right. Would you rather play your sport or watch a movie with your friends? Again, if you are wanting to play a sport with a friend, I want you to stand up. If you would rather watch a movie with a friend, I want you to sit down. Okay? All right, so I want you to tell someone in your household that's watching this with you, or even write it down, just think about it, of what movie or what sport you would play or watch with your friend. Okay? All right, I hope that you guys email these to your teachers, because I'm sure that they still want to get connected with you and to hear your answers. Okay, so writing a research paper, that seems like a big job, and every teacher has their different requirements. I'm just going to go over the overall process of it, the way the writing process is set up. So make sure that you're paying attention to your packet of how many paragraphs your teacher wants, how many sentences within that paragraph do they want, what the topic is going to be, and everything else that they're requiring. Your teacher should have some sort of rubric or guidelines for you for that. So I hope that you guys are paying attention to those packets as well as watching the WNIN. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, so the objective, I can conduct a short research assignments and task to build knowledge about the research process and the topic under study. Okay, again, we are going to be talking about the writing process, okay, because everyone's going to have different topics that they're going to have in your school. So it's kind of a hard one to watch, but we're going to go ahead and do the writing process, and then your teacher will have a topic for you that you can use this writing process with. All right, so for your checklist, these are the checklists that you need to have. So if you want to write these down really fast, make sure that you have a paper. I'm going to give you just a few minutes if you need to get a paper, or if you want to, you can always go onto the EVSC YouTube page and play this back to get this checklist as well. Okay, so the first one is find a topic. Okay? So your teacher is actually going to be providing you with the topic, or they might give you some selections of topics that you can research on. It just depends on your teacher, and depends on the school requirement. Okay? Write questions to research. That could be put in a KWL chart. Remember, you're going to fold a paper into 3. You're going to put one side with a K, the middle is going to be a W, and the outside is going to be the L. K means what you know. So you're going to write everything you know about the topic. The L is the W is what you're wanting to learn. So ask questions, put questions in there. Like if we were doing COVID-19, I would probably put, what is another name for COVID-19? Or what does COVID-19 mean? Okay? And then the L is what you learn. That's going to be where you put your research. That's what you're going to be putting your question or your answers to your question about. Okay? Then your research questions, okay? Again, that could be your L right there. All your questions right there, or your teacher might provide you with a list. It just depends on the teacher and it just depends on the school that you're going to, okay? And then you'll need a graphic organizer. You guys have learned, you guys are in 6th grade. You know how many graphic organizers you guys actually have made? You can do a Venn diagram. You can do a box and whisker graphic organizer. You can do just little circles like a web. You can do all sorts of stuff to organize your paper, okay? So you do what's best for you, or again, your teacher might provide you with one. It just depends, but I'm sure that they'll give you an example of it in their packet. So we'll have, if not, contact your teacher. I'm sure that they would be glad to send you one, or find a way to let you know what she or he wants, okay? And writing paper and revising, okay? So we want to make sure that we're writing our paper and then we're revising it, because a lot of people just write the paper and say, oh, we're done. But then when you read it back, there's a lot of errors in there. It doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that you are knowledgeable about the topic. You are the professional with this. Okay, so finding a topic and research, okay? Questions help guide your thought process. It allows you not to keep going back and researching on your writing phase. And then a KWL chart, which we already talked about. So make sure that when you have this, you want to make sure that you have your questions before you research, because that's going to help guide you. Instead of going to your paper and saying, oh man, I forgot to research this. You're going to lay it all out on that paper and then go write. Okay, the graphic organizer and the rough draft. The graphic organizer will help you with your rough draft. It will help you organize it. So you want to make sure that you have an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Okay? With that graphic organizer, you can lay out what each paragraph is going to be talking about. Okay, like I said before, my first paragraph is my introduction. My second paragraph, I might want to talk about COVID-19, where it came from. My next one could be the symptoms of COVID-19 that some people might experience. So we want to make sure that we organize it so it flows and it's well organized, because remember, I know that 6th grade has talked about a lot about organization, and they have talked a lot about how that will help you, not through life and not through testing, but just to help you organize your thoughts, okay? Okay, if not edited, sometimes it won't make sense. That's what we were just talking about. Okay, the edits and final draft, okay? Just because you have your rough draft done does not mean that you are done. As many of you would say that, oh, I'm done, that's probably not the case. You need to go away from it for a little while and then come back to it. So write your rough draft, go away, have a snack, do a game, do something, and then come back to it and edit it. Because the more fresh of eye you have, that's going to be better if you're editing it by yourself. If you have someone there that can edit it, give it to grandma, give it to dad, give it to aunt, give it to foster mom, foster dad. Give it to someone, brother, sister, it doesn't matter. Just give it to someone so they can read it through and help you be the most successful in your paper. Okay, so we're going to go to our list right here. So recommendations, we already talked about that. Writing it out. You must write it out again if you are writing. Typing it out is edits of making a final draft. So if you can have access to a computer and you're actually just watching this just to have another source for you, you can go onto Google, write your rough draft, come back to it later on, and actually revise it within that Google Doc. You don't have to rewrite it. Now, if you're writing it on paper, you have to rewrite it for the final draft. You can't just have a bunch of purple, orange, blue markings all over your paper, okay? All right, so we have a video on how to write a research paper and how to organize it. So I hope that you guys take a little bit from this to your topic for this week.
How to write a research paper for kids. Episode 4, Writing. I'm writing a research paper about bats. I've made a plan, researched my topic, and now I'm ready to start writing. First, I will write an introduction to tell readers what this paper is going to be about. I like to start introductions with a question or an interesting fact, or maybe even both. I'll say, did you know that bats live in almost every part of the world? You may even have some right in your backyard. For the next part of my introduction, I'll let the readers know why they should read this paper. Read this paper and you'll find out where bats live, what they look like, what they eat, and the cool things that they can do. Next, I can start writing each section of my paper. I'll use headings to organize my writing. A heading tells what the section is all about. My first section will be about what bats look like, so I'm going to use the heading Appearance. Now I'm going to write some facts about a bat's appearance. I need to make sure I write facts in my own words. That means I don't want to copy exactly what someone else said. Let me look back at my organizer to remind me of what I learned. First, I'll tell about their fur. Bats have fur. Their fur can be black, brown, or gray. Next, I'll tell about their size. Bats can be big or small. The smallest bats have a wingspan of 6 inches. The largest bats can have a wingspan of 6 feet. My next section is about where bats live, so I'll use the heading Habitat. Again, I'll look at the information I recorded on my graphic organizer. This time, I'll start the section with a question to make it interesting. Do you think bats live near you? Bats can live anywhere as long as it's not too cold. They like to rest in dark places like caves. My next section is about what bats eat, so I'm going to use the heading Diet. Many bats like to eat bugs. Other bats eat plants as well. There are even a few bats who like to eat other small animals. And finally, I want to tell information about what bats do. I bet you already know that bats can fly, but did you know that they can fly 10 miles per hour? Kids can only walk about 2 miles per hour. Bats also make loud screeching noises to attract other bats. And some bats even drink blood. Now I've written all of the information I have found. I'm ready to write an ending so readers know my research paper is finished. I'll say, aren't bats cool animals? I learned new facts about their appearance, habitat, diet, and the cool things they do. I hope that you learn new information about bats too. Now I've written the first draft of my paper, but I'm not finished yet. Check out episode 5 to see how I revise my paper to make it even better.
So, perfect. All right. So as you can tell, we went through the rough draft phase. You can put those headings in there to help you organize your thought process, or you don't have to. It just depends on what you're comfortable with, because there's some research papers that do and some that do not. And again, look at your teacher's requirements for that in your packet, because that will help you a lot with what you're going to be graded with. So I hope that you guys have learned a little something about the rough draft phase. And remember, she even said that she's going to be going back and revising that. So she did have some errors, but we're going to be going back and revising that. So then we can have a perfect paper. So then we're focused on your facts instead of your errors in your paper. Okay. All right, and then that is it for today. Again, I hope that you guys have had fun, and I hope that you guys enjoy your summer break coming up. We hope to see you guys soon, and we miss you guys so much. Please contact your teacher or contact any teacher if you're having problems, because we are here for you. We love you guys, and we hope to see you guys soon.